Hello, welcome along to Bangkok ChitChat. Before we go any further, I'd just like to thank everybody that subscribed. It makes us feel good, worthwhile, and doing a job. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do. Also, we found important is liking and sharing the video. If you could do that as well, that would be fantastic. Sharing means it goes to another
and comments,
market,
of course,
and the comments, so we have some content. Right, today, Thai cops get tough on drivers. We're looking at the new point system and their fines, and traffic light cameras, will they work? Before we go any further, all this stuff is taken from the internet, Google, and I suggest you look at it.
Nation,
and you've got to do some research. What we're going to do is just like an overview, so that you know what to expect roughly.
And criticise it, of course.
We'll get that, no doubt, no doubt. Now, in an effort to combat one of the worst traffic situations in Southeast Asia, the legislature has taken steps to apply Western-style enforcement and up-to-date data with linked databases to ensure safety. The government will now begin to enforce a new point system added to the Road Traffic Act, which will come into proclamation when finally announced in the Royal Gazette. Now, the most important thing is if you get stopped by the police, you don't have to give them their license.
Yeah, but the most important thing is that what was actually happening is many people, when they got their fine, they just didn't pay it. So if they didn't give their license, and someone would say, I forgot my license or whatever, which you can also be fined for, they would give you a ticket and then you're supposed to go and pay it at the police station.
Yes.
And the thought was that when you renewed your license, you would have the fines to pay and extra fines.
You renew your license, you mean your tax?
Yeah, but the problem, from what I understand, what I'm told is that the police department and the transport department didn't communicate.
Yeah, now they are.
So people didn't pay their fines.
Yeah,
which also left open for let's say under the table payments.
So what you're talking about is when you go to renew your road tax, not license.
I think it's actually your license. I'm not sure.
I am sure. The license is nothing to do with fines. Nothing to do with fines. But the point system works anyway. The point when you go for your road tax.
This is now,
now. If you haven't, it should have been in the past.
Yeah, but my point was that the two are now connected.
Okay, so when you go to renew your road tax, and you have an outstanding fine you haven't paid. You pay the fine there and then, at the road tax place where you get your road.
But anyway, you think about that. What happens if I've got my insurance which allows anyone to drive, and you're driving? So now I'm picking up his fine.
Well, you've got to show
I suppose because I'm responsible for my vehicle, but
well, you've got to show the logbook of the car, whoever's logbook that is. They won't have to check your ID when you're going for road tax. It's a blue book. You'll see. We'll get to that when we recover. No, but it's a good point, but not correct because they're going by the car, not the driver. You don't show your license at the road tax.
No, not for road tax. No.
No, that's what I'm talking about. You said license.
No, I'm talking about fines, paying fines.
Yeah, and you pay outstanding fines there if you haven't paid.
For related to
They'll
the car.
catch you.
Okay.
Yeah, related to that car, not you.
Right. Okay. All right. I said, don't lend your car to anybody.
You're not over convinced with what I'm saying, but never mind. All right, but the basically important, the police can't take your driving license.
Yes.
Because in the old days, they would hang that over you like, well, now you haven't got a license and you're driving without a license till you go to that police station and pay the fine or whatever and you get your license back. Now you can, if you have a digital one under the Department of Land Transport or QR license, the app, which is available on Android and iOS, pictures of your license on your phone don't count.
And what about a photocopy?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I would say that this is.
They're making a hell of a lot of apps just now, aren't they? From the TM30 to your 90 days.
Well, the new app apparently is supposed to be working as smooth as silk.
I wonder if it's in English.
No, I think it's not. I think it's not there, sir. I think it's not in. Maybe in Irish. No, I don't know, mate.
I think you think that was an Irish accent, but anyway.
I've been hanging around the studio for an hour waiting for him. This is a problem.
It sounded like one of these cider.
Oh no, that's down Bristol way, down Somerset. Yeah. To be sure. No, I can't do it. All right, and move on. All right, let's look at the point system, which we have covered before on shows, but this is sort of the latest. It's no big deal. Basically, you're given 12 points. And then points get taken away. When you've got 0, you're in trouble. Right? So 1 to 4 points can be taken off for various infractions of the law. No helmet on a motorcycle. Well, I guess no helmet when riding a motorcycle. Not wearing seatbelt. And not paying a fine on time is worth a point. So when you renew your road tax and you've got an existing fine, you'll get a point as well.
But within what period do you have to pay the fine?
It doesn't say. Oh, 7 days.
Oh, within 7 days. That's fair enough.
Yeah, but they say what I can't work out is when you're renewing your tax, or your road tax, which we are going to cover, but not this part of it, it doesn't say whether you get fined extra for not paying your fine. Is there a fine for not paying a fine? You'll follow me? Yeah. From what I read, it's sort of no. But if it is no, then everyone's going to do that, aren't they? They're not going to pay. They're going to pay when they renew their road tax. Why pay a fine now if it's the same?
The thing is, if you get 1 point, if you get 5 fines, 1 point, well, that's an extra 5 points you're losing. Yeah.
Well, we'll look at the fines and how much they are as well later. So, right, so basically, you know, if you're driving under the influence of alcohol and all that, you get 4 points taken away. So you jumping a red light is 1 point, blah, 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 blah. So they take it away from your 12 points. And then once that, losing all 12 points means a 90-day suspension. Repeat offenders who lose their next 12 points will be banned for a year. Do this more than 3 times and the license will be taken away, maybe for good. It just says maybe for good. So it's not written in stone here. Okay, do you want to go for the cost of fines?
Okay, so what we have...
Hot off the press, literally.
Yes.
Except his press is not working.
So this is right across the whole country. So it's not as a different provincial rates.
It's nationwide. Yeah.
So driving without a license plate is 400 baht. The red colour, going through the red colour of the traffic light is 300 baht, I'm saying here. Reckless driving, 400 baht. Oh, they make a fortune out of that here. Parking in the wrong place, 200 baht. Plus evacuation fee, basically to get your car getting taken away. Driving without insurance is 600 baht.
Wow.
So even you get reckless driving at 400 baht, but driving without insurance 600 baht. All right. Traffic driving in the opposite lane, opposite way.
You've been coming the wrong way.
I would call that reckless myself.
I would say go in the wrong way. 200.
There's a bit of negotiation here. Yeah. Driving vehicle without driving license or the corresponding category, well, that is 400 baht to 1,000 baht. Yeah.
Yeah, room for negotiation.
Driving vehicle without registration is 400 baht. These are really low.
Yeah. I told you they were, because when I researched it before, I thought they were so old because they were low. Right.
So the blocking of the fairway is 200 baht. So it looks as if they're parking in a golf course. Well, a motorcycle without a helmet is 200 baht. But does that include? The big thing is you see is that you'll have the driver with a helmet, but what about the passengers? Oh, and I say passengers because they've got maybe have the kid on it. And I actually had a debate about somebody how it is awful, but sometimes it's a necessity. They can't afford a car and they're in the middle of nowhere. But what gets me is where you see the person driving, the mother with a hat and a kid with nothing on. Actually, one time I saw one child being killed, going over the handlebars, and the father was all upset. He wanted to go and strangle the guy. Anyway. Driving while intoxicated or refusing examination, up to 1 year in prison or a fine of 5,000 to 20,000 baht. Disqualification from driving for 6 months, which is different from.
So they get you with a breathalyzer on that, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the checkpoints.
One of the most pleasant experiences I had was getting tested by the police at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was doing budgets, etc. And I was driving home along Saton Road, and they stopped me, and I was so happy they stopped me, and I blew into this thing. The policeman was so disappointed that I was okay.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Good job, I'm saying.
1 o'clock in the morning, Saton, yeah.
Well, I thought he was in for 20,000 baht at ATM.
Anyway, they go on and on.
Control, but yeah, so it goes on. There's different for drunken state. Now, moral of the story is if you're going to be going out, don't drink and drive, because I think it's 0.5 it's very low alcohol rate. Part of the reason being is as far as Western as we can cope with drinking alcohol at a higher level than most Thai. Yeah? Something to do with the enzyme in the blood or something like that. Yeah? So there's a physical thing, and that's why it's so low. Scotland, where I am, which is probably, along with the Irish, the heaviest drinking nation, we're 0.5 as well. And it's higher in England, it's 0.75, I think it is.
In Norway, it's 0.
Well,
I
say
think if you
logical.
even smell alcohol, well, with all the snow and ice around there, you can't, you know, you've got to be sensible.
You know, the police are there, a handful of snow.
No, what I meant was it's dangerous to drive on snow and ice. So they have 0 tolerance for drinking. So I don't know what it is.
You ever hit black ice? It doesn't matter if you're a good driver or not, you're just going.
Right, so basically, I've been talking to my friends about this, and most of them are saying, oh, yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I believe it's going to happen.
I think it's fantastic.
Going to work, and I think it's going to work, and will be enforced.
Yeah,
Don't
I
you?
think it's great, yes.
Don't you? Okay. The same now, traffic light cameras. A new traffic law enforcement system is now operational at 30 intersections across Bangkok. The new system are high-definition 4K primary cameras and 2-megapixel secondary cameras, both of which are fitted with infrared lights for seeing in the dark and are capable of detecting offenders during thunderstorms and also reading altered license plates.
Oh, really? Okay.
Perhaps. So it's state of the art. The automatic system will only record vehicles which completely drive over a stop line at a red light, which you just referred to then. How far over that white? Basically, what they don't want you doing is blocking the traffic coming the other way when the lights are green, because that's a domino effect.
Yeah.
That'll happen at the intersection behind that, and it's dreadful. And how many times have you been stuck in there and you're waiting for the guy in front to, because he jumped the lights. So these are the people.
Well, there's another thing is sometimes when you're maybe turning left, and so basically you got a crossroads and you're turning here, So it's not affecting the on-flow traffic here, and you have the light which says turn,
Left.
red light, but people are peeping you because they think you can turn freely. Now there are these blue signs which basically say you can turn.
And where they are, you can.
But the people behind are peeping and saying, oh, you should be going. Well, no, I'm not going because of the
I don't let it
light.
stress me anymore. I just go and think of something pleasant and let them beep. Because what happens is you turn because they're beeping, you get stopped.
That's right.
They go, bye.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, that's right.
Because they won't stop 2 cars in a row. All right, so drivers who run through an amber light or stop partially beyond a line, are not penalised.
Right. Okay.
Which is right in the English laws, that you can go past through. Amber is telling you it's going to turn red.
Yeah.
Right. But they don't here do like they do in the UK. Here, if it's red, right, it then goes red, amber, and then green, right?
Yeah.
Going the other way, it goes green, off, amber on, red.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that's because of that. So, all right.
They have the 3 sec. Yeah, okay,
Yeah. Already had notorious illegal U-turns and used for speeding. So basically, okay. So it looks fair.
Yes.
Don't jump the lights. Don't. I mean, other than you might hit something.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, on the fines as well. There was an article for a Japanese girl at university. I'm sure it was Bangkok University, but basically she stood in the pathway and stopped the motorcycles coming along the pathway. Because they're not allowed to go in the pathway.
Yeah.
Right? Which was great. She was very brave and she got a lot of accolades for it.
Yeah, I saw that in the press.
And also within the fining system, and when I find it again, we'll put it on the description or we'll mention it in another show, there's actually rewards for reporting people. Because now people have got their cams in their car for insurance. Yeah.
So if you see somebody on the pavement,
yeah, and
take
from what
the
I remember, what I
license,
saw was about 50% or something like that. They would share. And we were thinking about there's a car on our street which would be sitting there, and it's something like 5,000 baht fine. Imagine you caught 10. You could make a living out of just catching them.
Hey, we could ditch this, get a deck chair, sit at that intersection, and that's our work all day. Like I got 3 today. That's 7 grand.
Right.
Done. All right then. Once a camera has caught an offender, the system will submit photo evidence to the command centre, where officers will verify vehicle details and issue a ticket to the offender's address within 7 days.
Right.
So that's where I got that from. Drivers will be able to access their records online using a passcode printed on the ticket. Offenders will be fined, it says, up to 1,000 baht, during a test run, which was last month. So now it's up and running. It doesn't say. So it's still 1,000 baht, I guess, during a test run. And systems detected more. All right, and 22,260 offenders were caught in that time.
When you think about traffic there, it's not really surprising.
Well, the Rajada Rama 4 intersection saw the most violations.
Here's the big question.
Do you know that one? Do you know that one? The
Yes,
Rajada Rama 4. Yeah, most violations.
So here's the question. Why are they doing this? Why are they changing all this?
Why? Because I reckon to improve the traffic.
Right, so it's a traffic thing, and also to reduce how some people...
Accidents and deaths and all this.
Possible corruption or whatever it is, because people are upset with that. Yeah,
correct.
But what other thing can they actually do now with traffic? They also want to. They're looking at removing old cars from the road and diesel cars. I think it's by 2025 or something.
If they're not roadworthy.
No, just
that's it.
Yeah. So
you've got a 25-year-old diesel Mercedes.
I'm sure you'll have a particular license you apply. I mean, even in the UK, you got that.
And they may check the car.
Classic cars.
And they may check the car.
Yeah. So they'll be more strict on that.
Because 25 years is not that old.
But here's the thing, on the traffic, just some quick thoughts, because we haven't got a lot of time, is with the new lines coming in, now we've got people who are travelling by underground or sky train.
Oh, you mean train lines?
Right. So that should reduce traffic. But will it? Because where do they park? Because sometimes you live far, how are you going to get there?
That's a bugbear, right? There's no park and rides.
So they have to look at parking, which means more costs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to pay for that in addition to your train. Yeah? So you're talking about probably some people 200 baht a day in payments.
Yeah.
And then also...
Well, it's like that Morchit car park. You go there on a weekday after 7 o'clock, you can't park there. It's a massive car park.
Yeah.
It's full and people are double parked. And all. After 7, you won't get a space.
Right, so hopefully they'll take some of the money from the fines and put it into structure like more car parks, or what they can look at, what other countries have done is car sharing. Oh. They actually encourage people to do car sharing.
I can't see Thais doing that. I don't think it's in their culture to share a car with a stranger.
No, you wouldn't anyway. You'd probably just say, people on your way. Or
just get a blow-up doll, put that in the passenger and a seat belt, and then claim for well, I'm sharing. That's what they were doing in the West.
Oh, that's right. They were saying only certain days to certain areas you could drive it as one person in the car.
Yeah. And then other days, if you've got 2 people in the car.
If you've got blow-up doll
as a passenger, so that you get away with driving down that line.
Make a fortune out of it. Yeah. Anyway, there's something we can talk about later, but there's just I was wondering really why they're doing it, and it's great to hear that they're actually putting the points in, because it makes sense.
Well, the rest of the world, most of the world's rest of it are doing it.
Well done.
Yeah, well done. Good one for Thailand, and it will be enforced. Thanks for watching, and something that's gone out, hopefully, it will be gone out before you see this one, is him and I on the MRT. It's like a vlog thing with the camera and some music. We like it. I think it's very good.
New blue line. Yeah?
The extension, the first 5 stations.
From Hulampong to
Tapra.
Tapra. Okay.
You always look at me as if I'm an expert on it.
It's just because I want to blame somebody else because I forgot.
Yeah. All right then. So that's what. If you haven't watched it yet, take a look at that. You may like that, and subscribe, like, and share as normal. Thank you very much for watching. That's it for now.
See you again soon.